Hey guys, and welcome to Jade Coloring. This is going to be part 3 of the Unicorns and Dragons color along. I think I am, making some progress, so I think that this will be the last part in this color along. I'm going to be doing the trim around the top of her dress with these two green colors, and hopefully these are the only two I will need. I still am kind of thinking about what I want to do with like the arm brace and this kind of belt wrap thing. They look kind of like they would be metallic, and I'm thinking about just going in with silver colors or gray colors to make it look silver. But I'm going to take the darkest of the colors, which is the grass green, and I'm going to kind of outline this like trim here. I'm not really focusing too much on, the detail of it, just kind of outlining it. Because it's a pretty small area, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. Just try and keep it simple. But I'm pretty happy with how the dress turned out. I thought that the black was looking really cool. I'm going to take that grass green just a little bit further in, but not using as much pressure as I did when I outlined the section. And then just kind of do the same to the other sections. And then using a light layer to bring that color in a little bit further. I hope I didn't get it on her hair too much. It should cover up when I color the hair. Okay, so I got that laid out. Now I want to go in with true green, and really I'm just going to take this and go kind of start where we added the thicker line, the darker line of grass green, and then just make my way over and across, just putting a nice thin layer. And that's really all I'm going to do for that trim part. And if you want to, you could go back in with the grass green and bring out those details a little bit more by kind of outlining them more, tracing over them. But I think I'm just going to leave it like it is. Maybe go in with a little bit more of grass green to kind of darken up around the edges, kind of the shadow. And that part's done. Okay, so I was going to take a break on these parts right here, the kind of accessories that she has, and I was going to go ahead and start on her hair since it's a pretty big part, and it may take a little while. I think that I'm going to go for like a brown color. I got a few of like the brown set aside, and so the darkest color I'm going to be using is the sepia, and then I haven't decided if I want to use light umber in her hair or not, and bronze, and then I'm going to blend them out and kind of use a highlight of beige. And so trying to keep it a little bit simple, just give her a nice dark brown hair or light brown. I don't know, we'll see how it turns out. But I'm going to start with the darkest, which is the sepia. And I like to do hair with some pretty sharp pencils. It just makes it a little bit easier. So I'm going to start here at the top, and I'm going to just kind of, like I always do for the most part, and take that darkest color and kind of do some outlining and get those sections kind of built in there. So I got the darkest laying down, and then I'm going to kind of go down a little bit further and add another section of that dark sepia. And it's just sepia, I don't know why I keep saying dark sepia. And you can kind of bring in a few like flicks of that a little bit further in. Okay, I'm thinking that I do want to go in with the light beige, not light beige, light umber. So I am going to go in with light umber and just add that to the edge of that sepia, but still not going all the way to the center of this section of hair. Just to kind of bring it to a little bit more brown than black tone, you know. So I'm just kind of adding that to the edge of that, softening that sepia on there. And then I'm going to go in with bronze, which is hopefully going to brighten it up a little bit more. And kind of starting at the edge of that, I'm going to kind of lightly add in that color. And then lastly, I'm going to go in with beige. And add that in the center. I'm not using too much pressure. This is a very small, you know, head of hair. It's a little bit smaller than what I usually color, but so, you know, it's a little bit different, the process, but you just kind of, I just kind of work with it until I like how it looks. Everything's looking kind of smoothed out, doing a little bit of touching up with the light umber. And if you want to add some more hair strands, you can go in with the darkest, which is sepia, and kind of add that along in there. Just kind of going back and forth. Until I like the result. And I think that's looking pretty good. You know, like I said, it's a really smaller, a lot smaller of a like space because her head is pretty small. So sometimes, you know, when I have things like that, I just kind of do the best I can and go from there. You can kind of start kind of adding that sepia over here. And I'm going to take it like along her face. Careful not to get it on her face, which sounds like something I would do. And I'm just going to do the same thing. You can kind of go over those lines. You know, you have your liner and then you have those black lines that kind of do follow through all the way through. So I like to kind of just go over those. Okay. light umber. Okay, and then the beige. I'm sorry if I'm saying okay a lot. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm taking that beige in the center and trying to kind of blend those colors all together. I'm going to go in with some sepia, kind of smooth out a few of the darker areas where I want it to be a little bit more shaded. Along the top of her head here, and again kind of following those thicker lines. And taking light umber and adding that. And you could do a few like follow through flicks, you know, all the way across the section. Sometimes I do that to kind of give a little bit more of the hair-like illusion. And of course, as I go on, I kind of learn a little bit more each time, kind of how, you know, I like doing it for, you know, each section. I try not to do them too different, but I kind of get a little bit of an idea as I go along in finishing the hair. Usually by about the third section, I'm a little bit better about blending it and getting that, you know, color that I'm trying to get. And how much, like, you know, blending I want to do as I go. So that way I won't have to do as much touching up. Taking the beige and going in the center. I think I like that one, so I'm just going to leave that alone. Clear it off a little bit. Now for, as you go further down, her hair gets a lot curlier and wavier. I wouldn't really say they're curls, they're pretty much waves. And it gets to be a little bit more time consuming as you get to those parts because they are a lot smaller. And, you know, working in sections, you got to do like this section kind of by itself, and then you do like underneath it. So it takes a minute, you know, to kind of get into the swing of kind of doing all these tiny little bits of hair. But I'm a little, you know, I work a little bit faster sometimes doing them because they are smaller, so it shouldn't take as long. So I got the sepia on both of these sections of hair. And then I'm going to go in with the light umber. And, you know, smaller sections of hair, you'll have less of each color. So I just kind of, you know, use my best judgment in adding each of the colors. And then just the smallest amount of bronze. And then going in with beige. Taking that in the center. And I'm just going to kind of do the same thing. This is like, for example, this is a really small section, so it's going to take like a really small amount of each color. And this is when it can kind of get a little bit time consuming. Just got kind of hair. I got a little bit covered up by the dragon wings when I colored it. So I'm just trying my best to kind of go over that. It's not got to be perfect, you know. And sometimes with like, you can kind of tell in the line art that it was meant to be kind of separated and more of the kind of dragon wing showing through there. But it's so small that sometimes I just kind of do color over that with my hair color because it's just easier. I'm going to take the smallest amount of light umber, kind of scribble that in there. And then bronze. You can lightly go over the center if you think that the highlight is being a little bit too bright with that, you know, next to last color. And then blending them all together. And if you see kind of places you want to touch up as you go, that's what I do. If I see a little bit too much paper showing up, then I'll just take a little bit of, you know, whatever I'm working with to kind of smooth that out. This section kind of like back behind her neck, I'm going to use a lot more of the darker colors. Just kind of taking that kind of through there. And then this section that's kind of up under this section of hair. Kind of making it a little bit darker. So I'm going to go in with the light umber. And then bronze. And hopefully, you know, at the end of this, the hair will look similar to, you know, kind of waves. But sometimes it's kind of hard to achieve that, but I'm trying. And take that, kind of start. I like to kind of start my darkest color at kind of the thinnest part of the wave, you know, like where the lines kind of thin out a little bit and kind of cluster, and then where they kind of open back up a little bit wider across that like center of the curve of the wave is where I like to have my lightest color. So that's just kind of what I'm doing. And each kind of wave is kind of different in size, so I just try to judge how much of what color I need based on each of the different sections. And just a little bit more of that light umber. And then bronze. And this is kind of where we reach the top of the curl or the wave. So that's where I feel like the light would be concentrated on. So that's where I put the highlight. I'll leave the other parts alone. And when it's all said and done with, you know, and you have all the waves colored in, you can go back in with your darkest color to kind of carve out some of that definition. At least that's what I do to create, you know, separation of the hair strands. Trying to keep the pencils sharp. So okay, so I'm going to take a small amount of sepia. And to be honest, you probably could skip the bronze on the smaller sections of hair. But I like to kind of smooth out the edges a little bit and do a little bit of blending as I go, just to kind of cover up some of that paper that's showing through. And I take the bronze. I mean, beige. I'm glad I'd have these because I'm terrible at remembering which pencil I'm using. Kind of show you this section here. So I'm going to start, you know, kind of where it gets skinnier with the darkest color. And, you know, along her back and shoulder, arm area, it's kind of got probably a natural shadow. So I'm just running that dark color along there. And then it's skinnier here. So this is where I'm starting with the sepia. Kind of outlining, following those darker lines all the way through. Then as I make my way to the center, just getting the lighter of the browns each time, adding a little bit more of that. And then taking bronze, and finally beige, and just really trying to smooth out that center and create that highlight. And I kind of left that section there and this one here, so I'm going to work on it. I'm going to try skipping using bronze and see how I like going straight to beige and just kind of the smaller sections. Okay, I'm going to work a little bit more on the other side just to kind of give y'all an idea. And that's really all I'm gonna try to do with those sections, to just kind of camouflage it into the hair to where, you know, it won't be so noticeable. Sorry, I'm like dropping a bunch of stuff. So it won't be so noticeable, you know, that it wasn't a lot of hair detail on like that section, and then like that one kind of isn't really got much going on. There wasn't too many of them, just a couple places. But yeah, that's all I'm going to do for the hair, and so I'm going to go ahead and finish the hair off camera, and then I think the next thing I'll work on is her brace and belt, and I'm going to go with kind of a silver color, and then maybe we'll get started on her skin, and I will try to not work too much on the skin, but that is notoriously what I spend the most time on, I feel like, when I color. But yeah, I'll get that done and we'll move on to the next part. Okay, I got all of the hair finished, so I'm pretty excited about that, because that means, you know, we're getting closer to being done with this page. I always get super excited when I get a little bit closer to finishing a page. So I want to take black and 50% cool gray, and I want to work on this kind of frame that we have around this circular window here. So I wanted it to be dark to kind of match with some of the other dark kind of elements we have, and then I'm going to go in with like a really nice pastel-y sky for the background. I really don't know exactly how I want to do the little dragons that are flying around, because if it was a nighttime sky, I would definitely say like color them kind of black, kind of silhouetted, you know, in the night sky. And I guess you could do that for like a sunrise or, you know, sunset, but I don't know. I think it might look weird if I go in with black, you know, and color those dragons that are flying in the background. So I'm still thinking about that one. And I'm trying to, I thought I had a black that wasn't kind of so small, but I don't know what I did with it. But I'm just going to show you all a few sections of this part here. I'm just very carefully taking this black along the ironwork around the window. At least that's how I see it, you know, being dark. I'm trying not to completely destroy the nice, you know, even lines of this. It takes like a lot of concentration. I'm like holding my breath as I go. Okay, so got that black down. Just kind of filling in a little bit of the lines with a light layer of it. And so I want to go in with 50% cool gray. And I'm just going to lightly go over the whole thing in the center. Just to kind of make it look, you know, how I kind of picture it, kind of like an iron bars that kind of go over the front of this lookout here. And that's all I'm going to be doing with that. I don't want to, you know, spend too much time on it. All right, I think it's looking pretty good. Now I want to work on, I'll probably just finish that off camera, and I need to start kind of on these things that she has here, like the arm bracer and the intricate like metal belt thing she's got going on. A lot of the, it's a lot of gray colors, so I didn't want to go in with like a gold color. So I've decided I'm going to keep with that cool gray as my darkest gray color. And if I can find all of them, oh, there they are. Yeah. And then just go in with maybe some 30% cool gray and 20% cool gray. Just take a lot of cool gray colors and try to make them look a little bit metallic. There is kind of a intricate like design on this, so it is going to be just a little bit challenging, but I'm just going to take it a little at a time, trying to add that to like these bigger sections of the arm piece. I don't want to spend, a ton of time on it. So that was 50%. So I'm going to go in with 30% and just kind of pick up where I left off, and trying to leave a highlight so that we get that reflective look, that you get on like metals. But I want this section of the arm piece to be a little bit duller. So instead of going in with white, I'm going to go in with 20% cool gray to kind of blend those out. I want this to be a little bit shinier, so I didn't want that to be too shiny. I do have, yeah, I think I'm going to keep on with the 50%. I thought about going with another color, but I think I'm liking that. Okay, so taking 50%, I'll show y'all, almost treating it like hair, the way it's kind of curved in like a wavy shape. Just kind of starting on the smaller ends where it's kind of skinnier, and then making my way down the center. And then going in with 30% and just kind of adding a little bit of that. Skipping the 20% cool gray, I'm going to go right in with the white and just blend. Starting in the center. I think it looks pretty good. I'm liking that. It's not like the most intricate I've ever done with like metal, but I think it's pretty much as good as it's going to get in such a small area. Just trying to keep it simple. Then adding that to that 50%. Really just trying to blend out that 50%. And then on top of that, go in with white. And just kind of starting in the center, kind of blend that out. And I think it turned out better than I thought it would. So the 50% cool gray, I'm going to go in with this and just do a little bit of touching up to kind of add a little bit of definition and raise some parts of this metal piece, kind of make it stand out a little bit more. And I don't know if that did anything, but I really need to get some more pencils because it is kind of hard to get in there and color whenever they are a little bit smaller. It makes me more hesitant to sharpen them. So I'm like trying to stumble along with a pencil that probably should be sharpened. There, I think that's a little better. Okay, so I'm gonna just do the same thing for the piece that's around her waist. Just trying to kind of separate it out. There are lots of intricate little details in this, but I'm not gonna worry too much about that. You can kind of circle the little circle things in the middle, and just kind of add a little bit of that here and there. And then we're going to go in with 30%, kind of blending out some of those areas. And then I'm just going to blend them out with white. Nothing too special, just kind of adding that color in there. And that's all I'm going to do for those. She does have some jewelry, and I think I'm just going to take the 50% cool gray and kind of add that in there. It is a very small space, so there's really only so much that can be done. I'm just kind of adding that in there. And maybe, you know, it'll still be, after I do her skin, it'll still come through silvery. I'll try to be careful not to get too much on there when I'm working on it. Then I'm just going to take the 20% cool gray and just kind of go over everything with that. It's very small, so, but any color would work, you know, and kind of have fun with it. Now I want to work on the dragon's eye a little bit. I've decided to go, I did put a little bit of green color in that one eye, so I'm going to work on the other one. It is kind of hard to tell what is what, so I'm going to go in with grass green, and I'm just going to kind of start at the top, work my way down, just adding the tiniest amount of that, and then go in with true green to kind of brighten it up, blend it out. And these little circles here, like this one off to the side, I'm just going to leave it alone. For right now, I might go over with the white. And I assume that the center part maybe would be black, but I don't know. I don't really see much of an area to do it on that side, so I'm just gonna follow it, you know, where it's already drawn on that eye. Sorry guys, I don't know why. I guess I was a little bit sleepier than I thought when I hopped on here to do some filming. And for the nostrils, I'm just taking that black and kind of coloring those in. So just to kind of smooth things up, I'm going to go in with the white and kind of take it along. And I think that looks pretty good. Not too much fuss, you know. So all that's left is to do her skin and finish the window and do the background of the sky. And I'm aiming for a purple, like orange, pink colors. I thought that would be pretty. Still don't know exactly how I'm going to do these dragons that are flying around at the top, but I think if I just take like the same colors I'm using for the sky, that it will look pretty good. And you know, so at the end of the day, I just want to have fun and do something creative. So I think we are, you know, getting there. And now we're going to be working on her skin. I kind of just picked out my go-to colors as far as doing, you know, most skin tones for me. And for her lips, I decided to kind of make them a little bit bold, and I was going to go in with pomegranate and mulberry. I may not use all of these pencils I have picked out for the skin tone, but it's definitely, you know, I wanted to kind of have them on hand in case, you know, I feel like it needs a little something. It is a smaller face and just a smaller area for doing her skin, so it shouldn't take too long. I'm going to try my best to not spend too much time on it, but I am going to speed up the process because it just is, you know, one of the most time consuming things that I do as far as coloring. And the darkest color I'm going to be using is burnt ochre, and nectar are going to be my two darkest colors for the skin tone, and then just kind of mid-tones with the salmon pink, peach, and blush pink for, like, you know, adding a little bit of pink into the skin to kind of make it look a little bit more, you know, flushed. And then the lightest I might, depending on, you know, how I feel it's going towards the end when I want to kind of smooth everything together, I got light peach, beige, and cream. So I'm just going to kind of zoom y'all in and we're going to get started on the skin. I'm going to start with burnt ochre, and I'm just going to be going around the edges of the face. Very light-handed with it though. Just anywhere I think there would be kind of a natural shadow. But it's an extremely small space to work with, so I'm just trying the best I can. But I like to go in with the darkest color, but also be very, you know, light with it, gentle. And sometimes, you know, when I don't feel like, you know, I want just a little bit of that color, I'll just use the side of the pencil to add that. Because I want just the smallest amount. And just following kind of the shadowy areas for her back. The skin closest to the clothes. Or up under like the necklace. And then try not to forget the hands, just kind of adding that for the shadowy areas as well. Okay, the next color I'm going to go in with is Nectar. I'm pretty much doing the same thing, kind of keeping to kind of the edge of the face and making my way a little bit further in. Just trying to get that buildup of color. And you know, this paper isn't like, you know, the best paper, so only so many layers are gonna go on top before they start kind of getting weird. So I'm trying my best to keep that in mind as I'm working on it. Okay, I want to add a little bit of pink into her skin tone, so I'm going to go in with blush pink and just kind of start around the cheek area and add that kind of across the face. And a little bit here on her forehead. Forgot to do her eyebrows, but I kind of go back and forth. Sometimes I want to do them before I start on the skin, and then sometimes I like doing them afterwards. Okay, I'll do a little bit of that. So the next color I want to go in with is peach. And again, just kind of starting along the edge and making my way across. Taking that a little across the face, kind of down between the ear and the mouth. Yeah, it's just all about kind of layering and adding a little here and there until, you know, eventually you get to where you like the color build up, and then going in with a lighter color to kind of add that highlight to the face and create kind of the dimension. This is salmon pink. I'm just kind of adding this in a few areas. To kind of bring a little orangey tone to her skin. Got a little bit of blue on her hand, so I'm just trying to cover it up as best I can, but it's just a really small spot, so it should cover up just fine. Okay, so that's basically what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it again to kind of build up that color because I like them all kind of layering together. So I'm going to go in with burnt ochre once again and kind of do the same thing, and then I'll start adding in the lighter colors. But I'm going to go ahead and start speed this up also for y'all. all that's left is some touching up. So I'm going to do her eyebrows, and I'm just taking sepia and going along the eyebrow here. Just like the faintest suggestion of an eyebrow, like on the other side. So I'm just kind of lightly darkening up that slight little eyebrow area, and then kind of just leave it alone. And then for the rest of this one, I'm just going to go in with chocolate and go over that, and then just that's all I'm going to do for it. So the eye color, I wanted to kind of match the dragon, so I'm going to go in with ultramarine, and there is not very much, you know, iris showing, so it's just going to be the smallest amount of this in there. I mean, it's probably not noticeable, but I know it's there, so I have to do something with it. And I'm going to take a little bit of white and just kind of lightly go into the white of the eye there, just to brighten it up a little, and then maybe a little bit over her lips. What else? There's something else I needed to do. I'm going to go in with sepia and just kind of darken up the area kind of around the face with the hair, kind of under the neck here. And kind of get into some of those areas on the other side of her face as well. Okay, so all that's left to do with the black color is, I keep forgetting to do the dragon's claws here, and I'm just going to take black and go in there and do the dragon claws. My black is getting a little bit on the low side. I'm just going in and doing one side of the claw and leaving part of the other side of the claw white, just to kind of make it look like it's kind of sharp and narrow and pointy, I guess. And that's all I'm going to do for the her skin, and I'm really happy with how it's turning out. I think it's looking super good. Finally made it to the part where I'm going to work on the background, you know, what you can see beyond the window. And I decided to go with a really purpley, peachy sky, and hopefully it'll turn out okay. These are all the colors I'm going to try to use, and maybe I'll incorporate all of them, but I went ahead and grabbed, you know, some that I thought would be, I might need to work on this. So I'm going to get it cleared off and we'll get started. Okay, I'm going to start with Imperial Violet. This is going to be the darkest of the colors I'm using, and I'm just wanting to kind of map out where I want to, you know, put these colors, and then just kind of going from there and building on them, you know, a little at a time. I want the darkest to be kind of down here at the bottom. So I'm kind of going along the edges of like the window frame. And I will probably, I kind of have really been thinking about what I should do with these dragons that are kind of flying off in the distance. I think I'm just going to take this darkest color and go over them with the darkest of the purples and kind of go from there. But I'm so excited to be finishing this one up. It's probably taken me, I can't remember when I started it. It's taken me several weeks to do this one. Just kind of picking up where I left off and on. And plus, you know, like some of it I've done off camera. So it was kind of, I would go to my usual spot where I color, which is like in the living room and watching TV. And it's not always my best concentration time. I get distracted, of course, by what's on TV sometimes, and something that should take me, you know, a few minutes tends to take a lot longer when I'm doing that. I'm going to take it just a little bit further up the window here. Just adding a light layer of this Imperial Violet. Might take just a little bit of it across kind of this section here. Just ever so lightly. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with, I think I'm going to go in with the lightest color, kind of work my way backwards a little bit. And the lightest color is going to be Deco Peach. And this one I'm going to start towards the top. It's a very soft peachy pink color. I thought it'd be perfect for this sky. And it's probably hard to pick up on camera, but it's just the lightest of layers. You know, I'm going up here with that. Because whenever, you know, ultimately I'm just kind of scribbling everything, you know, in this little area. And it's nice that it is kind of a smaller area because it takes some of the pressure off. You know, smaller areas are, for me, easier to work with. But I don't want to lose the soft pink color, so I want to kind of lay that down so I can really keep in mind where I want that to be. Kind of want it to be around the top here. And it's easy to lose that color, you know, if you start too dark with your darker colors first. At least I have a bad habit of doing that. I always start with the darkest colors, and there's really no right or wrong way, but I sometimes think it would be fun to kind of start with the lightest color and kind of work around that. It's okay if I get a little on these dragons because I intend for them to be like a little bit hazy, you know, in the sky. So, especially if it's a lighter color, I'll be going back in with a darker purple color over those. And hopefully I won't be picking up too much black from the frame. I didn't think about it though when I did that first. I go in with salmon pink. Kind of keeping to the sides here of the frame. Just kind of making my way across the area. Go back in with the Imperial Violet. Oh, sorry. Just kind of enhancing that darker color. Kind of alternating directions and just taking it along the bottom here. Okay, my next color is the Amethyst, and it's a little bit darker, or well, lighter than the Imperial Violet. So I'm going to start where I've laid down the Imperial Violet and just slightly adding this to that color and kind of blending them together as I go. Okay, I'm going to start trying to add a little bit more of this color to the center. I'm just kind of using the side of the pencil. And I'm really just trying to tie in that the colors from the dragon to this background. or to the sky. I just thought it would look kind of cool to do that. But a nighttime sky would be equally, I think, beautiful on this page. But I feel like I do those a lot, so I wanted to do something a little different than just like a blue sky or a dark blue sky. Okay, I've put quite a lot of amethyst down on that. So the next thing I want to do is go back in with probably the next purple, which is kind of in between a purple and a pink, and it's this orchid, and just kind of doing the same thing, adding this kind of along the area where I stopped with the amethyst to create kind of a gradient effect. I think this color really helps tie in the orangey pinks and peaches. Go a little bit further in over here. I'm just kind of doing the same thing on the other side, making my way across. So that it kind of looks even. Okay. Oh, sorry, I kicked my table. So I definitely want that to be a little bit brighter. So I'm going to go in with hot or neon pink and just take, you know, the side of the pencil and work that along the edge of the orchid. Just to create a little bit of a pop of pink and among that purple, you know, to tie it all together. It also would have been cool to turn this into like a stained glass window. I'm going to be taking this in the center of this big part and by the wing here. Okay, I think that's enough of the neon pink. I'm going to go in with salmon pink. I'm going to start kind of along this center here, trying to not get too much into the black part. Just kind of adding this to along this like line ridge here. Okay, and to brighten up some of those edges along the salmon pink, I'm going to go in with neon orange. Just the lightest touch of this. I don't want it to be too overpowering. Okay. The next thing I'm going to go in with is Deco Peach. And I'm again kind of starting towards the top and then just kind of working my way down in each of the sections. Yeah, I think it's looking kind of how I imagined it, so it's always nice. And I'm trying not to forget to work around the dragons that are flying here, like up under their wings and stuff. trying to get as close as I can to that frame, work around the window without getting some of the black onto the sky. It's not perfect, but it's not too noticeable. The parts that I have actually got on there on accident. Okay, try not to spend a lot of time on this, but I am going to go back in with some touching up, just kind of like the final layer before I start blending it all together and smoothing everything out. Just using just using slightly more pressure on the pencil, you know, to kind of smooth out those darker Imperial Violet color. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do with the Imperial Violet. I'm going to set that to the side, and then one more pass with Amethyst. Using a lot more pressure, kind of blending out some of these areas that I know that are just going to be darker. So kind of working my way up to the other colors, just the same as I did in the first time around, but this time using a little bit more pressure and kind of blending out those colors to where I don't see so much of the white of the paper showing. So when I do that, you know, you can tell that the roughness, you know, is gone and it's a little smoother. And carefully making my way over her head here. Okay, done with the amethyst. And then just the next color is going to be Orchid. And just kind of picking up where I left off with the amethyst and continuing to blend and smooth out those colors. Might do another even layer of the orchid on this section just to get like some more layering. The closer I get to this part, I'm really using a lot less pressure. And then kind of working on this corner here, I'm using quite a bit of pressure just to kind of blend it and smooth it out the rest of the way. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with a little bit of the neon pink. I might go back in with the orchid to touch up a little bit of this area here in a minute. Okay. I guess I'm going to go in with salmon pink. Just a hint of that in kind of this area. Then Deco Peach. And I'm using quite a bit more pressure with the Deco Peach. Trying to make it like a little bit smoother. And I'm just kind of making my way into the salmon pink and trying to kind of blend these two together and smooth everything out. And I'm using quite a bit of pressure. Can kind of see some pencil from the amethyst or the orchid that I accidentally got up under there, but I don't think it's too noticeable. And I don't want to blend anymore right in that section, so. Okay, I'm pretty happy with the top part here. I'm just going to do a little bit of touching up with the salmon pink in a couple areas, like right here. And going in with orchid. Just do a little bit of touching up around the window frame. And I still have a little bit of blending to do over here in this section. Okay, I'm going to try blending this with the Deco Peach, and hopefully it won't look too weird. Just kind of working my way to the center, softening those edges as I go, and kind of using a little bit less pressure as I make my way to the center of this section. Okay, I think that looks good. So all I have left to do is color the dragons that are kind of flying around in the background. I'm going to take Imperial Violet and just kind of go along the bottom part of the dragon. Then going in with Amethyst. And then finally, I'm just going to go in with Orchid and just kind of add that, and that's probably all I'm going to do with the dragons. Alright, and I'm finally finished with this page. I think it turned out really cool. I'm so pleased with how this ended up turning out. I think that I loved pretty much every minute of this color along. I'm happy with how all the colors ended up working together. Of course, I second guessed myself a lot along the way, but at the end of the day, I had a lot of fun working on this, and I'm so happy to have a finished page in the Unicorns and Dragons book by Selina Fenech. It's a lovely book, and it always makes me happy to work in a new book. I think my favorite part about this finished page is pretty much how the woman turned out in the dragon, but I also really like the two little dragons, even though it was kind of hard to work with coloring them because they are so small. I'm still, pretty happy with how they turned out, and the eggs were a lot of fun to come up with that combo and to kind of figure out how I wanted to work on them. But yeah, super happy to have this done. I'm sorry if this last part was a little bit longer. I did end up kind of not speeding up the process of the sky. I just thought it would be easier to follow along if that's something that you do. But yeah, that's I guess all there is to say about this color along another one done, and I can't wait to work on the one I have planned for October. But thank you so much for watching, and until the next video, bye y'all.